And I can only say that it's been an extremely successful 2 days of brainstorming and very stimulating indeed. We were lucky in this event to have had two stalwarts of the global PMA movement, Dr. Mladen Vukomanovich, the president of IPMA, and also Dr. Reinhard Wagner, former president of IPMA. The focus, see, of this conference, as has already been pointed out, for the Global Summit, I would say 2024, was basically energy transition, infrastructure growth, particularly in the Indian context, and the futuristic technologies like AI. This, I think, would encompass a transformative vision for India at 2047. What India, independent India, 100 years later, would look like. A vibrant India, an India which has overcome poverty and is probably the third largest economy in the world at that time, and that too through a democratic process and without having colonies to exploit across the world, unlike some of the other industrialized nations of the world. India, we have to transform into a global hub for strategic industries. As Dr. Mashelkar pointed out today, we have to become masters of disruptive technology, masters of mass production at a cost which people of India can afford and other developing countries in the world can afford, because that would be our market for the future in 2047. The other countries of the world who are coming out of poverty and getting in here. Just one word here, Dr. Mashelkar's example of the LED bulb and the CFL. In fact, I was Secretary Power at that time when I asked Ajay Mathur, who was heading the energy conservation cell, that use the carbon funding. And we had crashed in mass purchase. We brought the price down from about 400 rupees a bulb to 200 rupees a bulb, finally to about 75 or 80 rupees a bulb. I said, no, it should be available at the price of an incandescent bulb. And there we used the carbon fund to bring it down to 17 rupees and ultimately priced it at about 20, keeping 2 or 3 rupees for recycling of the waste. That aside, I think we've got to be conscious of the fact that India will be the third largest economy and the most populous country on earth in 2047. So whatever we do, we have not only to plan for affordability for our own population, but also for being, in a way, a workshop of the world, and particularly for the developing world, because it is those countries who represent us, not the developed countries. And maybe because the cost of production in the developed countries is going to become much higher as time goes on, we should be, like China, the producer. Now, the journey, in my view, between 2024 and 2047 for India would be a journey of a democratic, humane, sustainable transformation, which will catapult India to embracing environmentally sustainable industry, agriculture, and habitat with a competitive economy. Because unless you have a competitive economy, you will not be able to market your products in the world. The world of imperialism, territorial imperialism is over. India will be in the midst of AI, as I can see. But AI should not be a black box, which would be a mystery, as difficult to comprehend or encounter as God. It should not be a mystical God. Rather, it should help humanity lead a more economic, less wasteful, less tense existence, giving options for a more environmentally benign way of doing a task and conserving resources. I know it is a tough call, but this is a summit that we have to climb, and it should be sincerely attempted. The 2 day brainstorming was highly educative, as I said, stimulating, high tech, rational, as well as futurist. AI is going to dominate the space. Mr. Jameson mentioned about the computing session. Well, I think in that session, CDAC had rightly said that we have to expand on a scale which matches the best in the world. And that is what I think they're trying to attempt. Similarly, the space mission of Gaganyaan, this is again a race in which we have to join. There are other planets where we have to reach, look for resources. The others are going to reach before us, probably, but we should not be far behind. And that, I think, was an extremely futuristic message that came out of that program, that we're on the right path, and we've have the good fortune of having a person like Dr. Pillai guiding the affairs of this organization to organize all this. He's in the forefront of all these developments, and I think he is the right person to lead us. For energy, it was rightly pointed out that nuclear will be the base load. And as a base load, we have to ensure that we have steady energy, which is nuclear. Otherwise, solar, wind, ocean waves, all these forms of energy are there, but they're intermittent and they need storage. And we've got to find cheaper and more benign ways of storing energy. I think it's been a most stimulating 2 days experience, but it has given us a roadmap, I think, for the next 20 or 30 years. Thank you very much, all the participants. It's been a wonderful time, and we hope to be holding more such sessions and probably be able to present some kind of a rational blueprint which the decision makers in the government can follow. And PMA should be a prime mover in that. Thank you very much, and best of luck, and a big thank you to the wonderful organization of this